Conference, every proud couple wants to share their video, their rather tedious wedding video, with their friends and family. We get to share it with the whole of Conference. More seriously, we wanted to show you how normal our wedding actually was. Unbelievably touching and special, incredibly normal and routine.
But we are here to thank people, to place on record our formal thanks. This work was not achieved overnight. What we achieved this Parliament has been the fight of Liberals for decades. People like party member and activist Michael Steed, who was founder member for the Campaign for Homosexual Equality, Lord Anthony Lester, who wrote the law on civil partnerships, and so much more. Evan Harris, who until Stephen Williams was elected, was the only out member of Parliament for the Liberal Democrats.
And he's not gay.
And of course, Bernard Greaves, who for decades has been a leader, mentor and patron of LGBT+ Liberal Democrats. They are some of the Liberals who stood up for equality even when it wasn't fashionable.
But same-sex marriage gained support from many quarters. Huge credit is due to the Unitarians, the Quakers, the Reformed Jews who called for their religious freedom to conduct marriages. We gained active support and commitment from the LGBT groups of Labour, Conservatives and the Green parties.
We stood outside the Houses of Parliament, countering those who opposed change. Our numbers at the start were very small, but thanks to Stonewall, Peter Tatchell and the gay and lesbian club and bar owners in London, our numbers grew very quickly.
From the first cold night vigil with just 30 of us, we grew to a mass demonstration of 1,000 people singing and dancing outside the Parliament, calling for change. Supported by the London Gay Big Band and the London Gay Men's Chorus, peers inside the chamber could hear us singing when we were outside on the streets.
But it was the Liberal Democrats who led the way, thanks to the people as well of all parties and none. We have thanked those who have gone before and fought for this right, the right for two people who like each other, love each other, to marry.
Conference, there was one person who was central to making this all happen, utterly tenacious in her vision for same-sex marriage. As Minister for Equalities, she pushed and pushed and pushed to get the bill onto the statute books. Conference, I want you to add your thanks to mine and Ed's, and it gives me great pleasure in welcoming to the stage the person without whom our wedding wouldn't have happened. Ladies and gentlemen, Lynn Featherstone, MP.
Wow, it's very emotional. I still get incredibly emotional about it, and I'm trying not to cry, because it's bad form. So Ed asked me to kind of tell you a bit about why I did it. In fact, Liz Barker asked me that, Baroness Barker, who appeared so formidably and who so bravely in her speech in the debate on same-sex marriage bill came out to the House of Lords, and I thought that was fantastic. Fantastic. And she said to me, why, Lynn? Why? You know, it wasn't in the coalition agreement, wasn't in the manifesto. Well, this is why. First and foremost, I am a Liberal. But I was definitely imbued with the need to use this opportunity. You know, Liberal Democrats in government doesn't happen every time. How many times in history would there be a Liberal Democrat Equalities Minister? And I thought I saw an opportunity. You know, the Conservative Party wanted redemption. They wanted to move away from their homophobic record, genuinely did, well, at least some of them. And Labour obviously had taken this huge first step with civil partnerships. And Nick, because I had to check what my leader was doing, in an interview had said on the record that he believed people of the same sex should be able to marry. And in September 2010, at conference, thanks to our own Liberal LGBT+, it became party policy. So the stage was set. And I was sitting in the basement, cafeteria, I know it's very prosaic, in the House of Commons, writing the words that would eventually herald in the change to come, the words that would be used for the right round to Cabinet, and the words that Theresa May would have to approve to be written round to Cabinet. These are they, more or less, as far as my memory serves me. It is clear to me that there is a genuine desire amongst those with an interest in this issue to move forward on same-sex marriage and opposite-sex civil partnerships. and we will examine how to move forward to legislation in this Parliament. Sadly, opposite-sex civil partnerships didn't make it all the way. Of course they will now, because they're going to be in our manifesto. But same-sex marriage was on its way. It passed the cabinet right round, but I had to garner support across Parliament, because without cross-party support, this wouldn't have gotten through. And I met with everyone. I won't go into everyone. I met with Labour's Maria Eagle. Would Labour support me? They came on board. And I made allies in vital departments across government. I had Nick Herbert, Conservative, in the Home Office, stalwart. Crispin Blunt, Conservative, in the Department of Justice. Michael Salter, David Cameron's right-hand man in Number 10. And, of course, genuine huge support from Theresa May and David Cameron. And Nick, obviously. Brilliant all the way through. Right at the beginning, I suddenly remembered I hadn't told Nick what I was doing. So I rang him. He was in the car, and I explained what I thought I could do and was going to do. And he said, yeah, go for it. And he has been absolutely fantastic all the way through. So the stars were all aligned. Coalition for Marriage, Ed Fordham, Adrian Trett, Brian Paddock, and many others fought, lobbied, cajoled, and pushed all the way. And I'm going to just say one thing which wasn't in my script. It's just to Ben and Jerry, who did this ice cream pot that was named Lynn Honeycomb, Happily Ever After. And they sent it to me, and it's kind of like one of the nicest things that's happened in politics. But most of all, I want to pay tribute to those who've suffered discrimination, who've suffered from hate, who've suffered from violence, but whose brave fight over many, many years brought us to this place. And now it is the law. And when people ask, what is the impact that being in government delivers, we can answer. We can stand proud and say that the reason we go into politics is to make the world a better place. And because of Liberal Democrats in government, it is. Thank you.
Well, never let it be said that Liberal Democrats don't make a difference in government. And I'm sure you join with me in being really proud today to be a Liberal Democrat.